What's going on, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new featured archetype. Today we're going to be looking at the Senka archetype. We took a look at the Megalith archetype a couple days ago, or yesterday, whatever it was, whenever it was, and that was a really interesting archetype. Yeah, so I have the Spirit Sculptor up here from that video. But that archetype really impressed me, and now I'm kind of curious if this one will impress me even more. It looks like a cross between Six Samurais and Fire Fist. At least I've heard somebody make that comparison, and I kind of agree with that. All the artwork on these cards does look really nice. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Also, don't forget to check out Imperium Duelist and use my TCG Player affiliate link down in the description below. Buy anything off TCG Player. So let's take a look at the first one here. We have a level 7, 2700 attack, 900 defense, wind monster, beast warrior. Okay, so definitely sort of fitting into the what is it? The Fire Fist theme, beast warrior. Probably it is searchable off tanky. Gains 300 attack for each monster you control or your opponent controls during this turn, during your turn only. You can use this effect, each of the following effects of Senka champion Zhang Di once per turn. If you control 2 or more Senka monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, free extension, I like that. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can activate this effect. This card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. Wow, okay, that's a pretty powerful card right there. Okay. And next up here we have Senka Justice Guan Yun, level 7, 2500 attack, 1800 defense, beast warrior, and it says if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So this just says, this is interesting because it doesn't specify your opponent having more monsters than you do, or you not having any monsters, period. This just says, like, hey, your opponent's got a monster, go ahead and special summon this card for free, like a better version of Pankratops. But one thing to take note, it is a level 7, so you're not going to be able to easily normal summon this card, at least not that I know of yet. I mean, we haven't taken a look at any of the spells or traps, but this seems completely dead going first is the downside of that. But it says your opponent cannot target other Senka monsters you control with card effects. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Don't use the effect of Senka Justice Guan Yun once per turn. So that card seems really good, actually. You get a free pop if your opponent has more monsters than you do. Yeah, I was gonna say, for a second I thought it wasn't a hard once per turn. I was gonna be like, okay, we got a good card on our hands here, but it is a once per turn, luckily. So yeah, that's a pretty decent card. And you know, one thing that's interesting is this archetype is so close to being called Seka. Just remove the N and replace it with a K, and we're like, it could have been the Seka Justice. That would have been so cool. Maybe see like Danko Seka in the archetype in a different form than we're used to seeing in the regular Danko Seka. That would have been really cool. And then we also have, so yeah, one thing to keep in mind here, we have 3 wind monsters and 3 water monsters. So here we have Senka Intermediary Sun Mu, level 4 Beast Warrior Water. While you control another Senka monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks. You can only use each of the following effects of Senka Intermediary Sun Mu once per turn. You can send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard, add 1 Senka monster from your deck to your hand, except itself. If your other Senka monster's effect is activated, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Wow, okay. So, yeah. If your other Senka monster effect is activated, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls and just bounce it to the hand. That is that's pretty good. This can easily chain link block things too. Because if it, activate effect A, let's say you're using this effect here to pop a card, and then you could chain this chain link 2. This is protected, or if it was a card that searched, you could just protect it, by that chain link block there. You also get a destruction and a bounce. That's pretty good. That's pretty good if you ask me. And also sending a card from your hand to the field just to add any seconds. You just trade in any card from your hand or field, Senka or not, and just add a Senka monster from your deck to your hand. That seems really good in of itself. It is a level 4 as well, so it's a good normal summon target. We have another level 4 here. This is Seka Adonis Zugong. I hope I'm not butchering these names. 600 attack, 1600 defense, Beast Warrior. You can target 1 continuous spell or trap you control Send it to your graveyard. If you do, add 1 Senka spell trap from your deck to your hand. So this could just send Tanky to add any Senka spell or trap. So you get to search off Tanky, grab this card, send that away to plus add another Senka spell or trap. Seems pretty good if you ask me. Yeah. If your other Senka monster effect is activated, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls and negate its effect until the end of this turn. So far we're seeing a lot of monsters that activate their effects when other things activate their effects. So you could potentially be like, you know, effect destroy a card. Okay, chain effect to bounce, and then chain effect to negate. Okay, like 1 chain to just chain, pop, bounce, negate. What else do we got to work? Card seems pretty good. Then we have another wind monster here. This is a level 4, Senka Noble Lu Wan. I'm probably butchering these again. 1400 attack, 1200 defense. While you control another Senka monster, your opponent's monster cannot target this card for attacks. You can only use each of the following effects of Senka Noble Lu Zwan once per turn. Okay. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can send 1 card from your hand to the field of the graveyard, special summon 1 Senka monster from your deck. And keep in mind here, we're sending any card from our hand or field to the graveyard. Any card. Does not have to be Senka related. Literally anything. That seems like it's the best part about this entire thing. Just get rid of that Tanky and just special summon any Senka monster from your deck. It could be any one of these big boys right here. And then it says, when an attack is declared involving another Senka monster, draw a card. Just draw a card. Nice. I like it. And then we have Senka Tactician Lu Jing. 700 attack, 700 attack, 2000 defense, searchable off Spirit Sculptor, by the way. It says you can target 1 continuous spell trap you control. Send it to the graveyard. So again, fire formations that keep you know, popping up in my head here. Send it to the graveyard and do add from your graveyard to have 1 Senka spell trap with a different name from the card sent. It does not specify that the continuous spell or trap has to be a Senka spell or trap. So anything, like I said, Tanky, really working well here with this archetype, and the, you know, all the other fire formation spells and traps as well. Then it says if your other Senka monster's effect is activated, you can target 1 spell trap your opponent controls, destroy it. So we have possibly 4 chain links that we can activate here. Destroy a card, bounce a card, negate a card, and pop a spell or trap, all in 4 chain sequence. That's really no extra deck monsters also to keep in mind. I imagine we'll probably get a rank 7 and a rank 4 for this deck. That would make the most sense to me, or maybe a link 2. But right now on its own, honestly, it seems like it does enough. I don't even know if it needs extra deck monsters, and if the extra deck monsters use, it'll probably be some mix of Fire Fist with this deck. Yeah, I think you'll probably be mixing Fire Fist with this deck very easily. Then we have Senka Legend, the 3 Visit. Continuous. Send this card to the graveyard during your second standby phase after activation. So it's just too good to be on the field for longer after that. During your main phase, if you normal or special summon a Senka monster or monsters, you can target 1 of those monsters. Cost, add from your deck to your hand 1 Senka monster with a different name from that target. If this card is sent from the field from the spell trap zone to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Senka monster from your hand. You can only use this effect of Senka Legend, the 3 Visit, once per turn. So a lot of things going on here. If you normal or special summon a Senka monster or monsters, target a monster of 1 of those monsters, and then add a from your deck 1 Senka monster with a different name. So we're searching out monsters here, and it's automatically going to send itself in the second standby phase. You just get to special summon any Senka monster from your hand. So that seems really good. So they're just putting a clock on it for a good reason. You don't have to worry about your opponent destroying this thing unless it, of course, gets Cosmic Cyclone, which Cosmic Cyclone just seems like it's going to be better and better as time goes on. But yeah, you're just gonna get, it's like on a countdown. You're gonna get that summon at some point. It is from the hand, granted, so it's not the greatest, but it is still pretty good if you ask me. Then we have Senka Legend, the Sun Lu Alliance, another continuous spell here. If you control 2 or more Senka monsters with different attributes, you can declare 1 attribute. Monsters your opponent currently controls with that attribute cannot activate their effects until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. Okay. So again, this just has to be against wind or water, which I don't know. There's not really too many like meta decks that are ending on boards with lots of wind and water monsters right now that I can see of. Yeah, declare 1 attribute. Actually, Okay, wait a second. If you control 2 or more Senka monsters with different attributes, you can declare 1 attribute. Monster. Okay, so this is any attribute. It doesn't have to be wind or water. You just have to have 2 different attributes. Okay, that's making a bit more sense now and seems a lot more viable. So you just call dark, fire, light, whatever it may be. Until the end of this turn, even this card leaves the field, if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, or if you activate a Senka monster effect, you can make all Senka monsters you currently control gain 300 attack. Senka monster you control until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Senka Legend, the Sun Lions. That seems really, really good. The ability to declare an attribute, and monsters with that attribute cannot activate their effects until the end of this turn. And then if you special summon a monster, all Senka monsters, or activate an effect, all Senka monsters gain 300 attack until the end of this turn. For each Senka monster you control, so gaining multiples of 300. And then here we have the trap card. Luckily, it's not a counter trap. Senka Legend Champions Bravery at Changban Bridge. Continuous. If your Senka monster battles, your opponent cannot activate spell or trap cards until the end of the damage step. You can only use one of the following effects of Senka Legend Champions Bravery at Changban Bridge per turn, and only once that turn. Imagine writing that down on a deck list. And then we have at the start of your opponent's battle phase, you can send this face-up card from your spell or trap zone to the graveyard. Your opponent's monsters cannot target Senka monsters for attack this turn. So that seems really, really good on its own. And then when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can banish a card from your graveyard, especially one Senka monster, from your deck. From your deck, period. That is really good. Man, this archetype seems... I don't know if I like it better than the Megalith archetype, but this archetype also seems like something I would want to get. Same thing with the Megalith deck. I don't know. What do you guys think? This definitely is screaming, play me with Fire Fist 100%, but it also seems like it has grounds to be played on its own. 100%. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed this little featured archetype video, taking a look at the Senka archetype. And yeah, don't forget to check out Imperium Duelist and use my TCG Player affiliate link down in the description below if you want to support me just by using TCG Player. Feel free to. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, guys, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you in the next one.